When last we met our intrepid vampires, tragedy had struck. Tragedy had struck as Maria had died, unfortunately, through the interactions of Elise and some priests over at the oratory. The next night, her sire, Soriana, was freed. And after scouring the city for Maria and finding out that Maria died, she had an encounter with Arkham. And then later an encounter with Elise that didn't go in a very friendly manner. Elise not hesitating to tell Soriana what she thought of her abandoning Maria the way she did. Meanwhile, the good Father Dubois, was busy gathering all the informations, gathering all the secrets, meeting with the Rat King, and, well, having his own little discussion behind closed doors with Arkham near the end of the night, offering to help Arkham with his little problem. Arkham's little problem, of course, being that he tends to black out and do horrible, terrible things. The Father is just the remedy for that, apparently. What that remedy is, we don't know. I'm sure we're going to find out at some point. I'm sure it's going to be terrible. But hey, we'll see how Arkham deals with that. As we begin tonight, for this, the final episode of Black Pentecost. Words by Christina Rossetti. Her poem, A Daughter of Eve. A fool I was to sleep at noon, and wake when night is chilly beneath the comfortless cold moon. A fool to pluck my rose too soon, a fool to snap my lily. My garden plot I have not kept, faded and all forsaken. I weep as I have never wept. Oh, it was summer when I slept, it's winter now I waken. Talk what you please of future spring and sun-warmed sweet tomorrow. Stripped bare of hope and everything, no more to laugh, no more to sing. I sit alone with sorrow. We mourn so much, whether it be others or opportunities or moments, memories or hope, lovers, friends, kin. Mourning and grief are an essential part of our existence, especially as Cainites, as kindred. Nigh eternal we are, stones in a dark river, life flowing about us while we remain immobile, unchanging, rooted in the now. The past is buried, and the future is never more than a night away. How cursed we are. How blessed we are. For with so much grief and mourning to bear, as our worlds forever fall away from us, and we rebuild only to see the inexorable waves of time sweep our castles away like the tide, we become jaded. Soon grief and mourning lose their power over us. A surfeit of anything will do this, too many cooks, too much broth, etc., etc. So yes, cursed we are for the mountains of grief and the vast plains of sorrow that stack upon one another and become the bedrock of our castles. But blessed too, for in that sorrow we find the last of what we can, by virtue of comparison, remind us of joy, of what being human was like. We forget so easily what wanting really means. Elise, you've just come from confronting Soriana. You can hear Fletcher in the other room telling Faraday what to do with the young man you brought back with you from the cemetery. Young man you'd momentarily forgotten. What's going on in your mind in the wake of the confrontation and Fletcher's sudden reveal of the life boon he owed Soriana and that he knew her before?
I think she feels surprise that Fletcher would not tell her this. Not that he lied to her, but he withheld information. And it's upsetting. There's a bit of anger there, though she's trying desperately to suppress that, to remain calm. And she's kind of stolen herself away to her room, sat at her vanity, took her hair down, and she sits there brushing it quietly, kind of reflecting on that conversation. I don't know if I would fully call it betrayal, but she certainly feels a way about him withholding this information.
Thank you, Dro, for that gift of bits. Everyone gets a night move, and Raven Sarah also gave Anaica another night move. So thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. You sit there. There's quiet for a while in the other room, and then there's a soft knock at the door to yours.
Who is it?
The door opens, and you see Fletcher standing there. He pushes the door open and then crosses his arms and leans in the door frame.
She looks at him through the mirror of her vanity. You knew her?
I did.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because I owed her a lot. It's like I owe Bradley a lot for this incredible donation of bits that Bradley just gave, giving everyone, I think it's 3 night moves. Thank you so much, Bradley. You're always the man. Really appreciate your support, bud. He says, because I owed her when she first came into town, fleeing for her life, the prince at the time, who you know I was friends with, Servino, came to me figuring that if anyone would try to harm her, it might be me, and that's when I realized that I knew her, and keeping her identity secret was the least I could do, especially considering that if anyone would harm her, it would have been our people. There's a long history between the Tremere and the Salubri, and it's a rather bloody one.
Did you not trust me with the information?
Of course I did. Trust you with anything, but I met her in Damascus before I even met you. Not very long before I met you, but a few years. At the time, I was still working for the Chantry in Amsterdam, traveling around. My job at that time for the clan was to investigate and gather information about a sect of vampires called the Bali. They're infernalists. I stumbled upon a nest of them in Damascus, and they took me. They took me and they kept me for a long while, and they did things to me that made me wish not only that I was dead, but I'd never been born to begin with. And when they abandoned me, when they left me, they didn't even kill me, they just sent me back out into the world. I was completely gone, completely broken. It was only Turiana, Shifa, her real name, stumbling onto me and taking my madness into her and healing my mind that allowed me to become anything but a monster, really. And it was soon after that, when I returned to London, that I encountered you for the first time. And I didn't say anything for a while. I came back and saw you often for quite a while before I said anything, because I was not healed. I was still very broken and still trying to piece together what remained of my psyche. But the thing is this, that if Shifa had not done what she did, beyond saving my life and saving my mind, I would not have met you. And so I owed her the greatest debt I could ever owe anyone. And for that, I kept her secret. And for that, I would have helped her escape the city if she'd wanted. And I know this must feel like a betrayal, but I hope you'll understand that it was because of you that I didn't speak on it.
Did you know then, too, that Maria was her child?
I did. Once we were summoned to the prince and the prince had Soriana staked, I understood what was going on, but the Salubrio almost exterminated in the Dark Ages by our clan. There was a witch hunt on them, and I feared that saying anything at that time would just put us on a path to something like that. Like, I didn't want the Primogen, I didn't want the rest of the clan to know that I knew and that you were involved with them. Our clan has an unreasonable hatred.
Piece of information interests her, and she turns in the chair to look at him finally. Why would the Tremere do such a thing? For what purpose?
What did you experience when Maria saved you in the car?
I went somewhere else. To the oratory. I was there with her. Basked in sunlight. It was so peaceful and beautiful inside of there.
My understanding is very limited, but from what I do understand from my own experience, is that when a Salubri uses their powers to heal, they can only do so by first removing your soul from your body and bringing it into theirs, and thus taking on your pain. This is part of what has led people to believe that they are diabolists, that they thrive on committing the most heinous crime of our kind. And this is perhaps false, as you and I have experienced, but it's been used since the very creation of our clan as a means of making our crusade against their clan seem valid. And knowing what I know now from my experience with Shifa and your experience with Maria, I know more than ever that it's just horrible cruelty.
When it happened, what did it look like to you, what she did to me?
I've been to many places, seen many old ruins, investigated many ancient temples, gone into the remnants and the skeletons of civilization everywhere around the globe, and every time I go, I see dust and remnants of once powerful people and societies all ground to nothing, and it becomes very soul deadening. this constant reminder that all empires fall and everything turns to dust. But when Shifa healed me, I saw Damascus and the land around it as she saw it. I saw it as she had seen it in its heyday. I saw it as beautiful and verdant and filled with pleasures and joys and light, as only those who were there so long ago would remember.
I'm sorry I was cross with her. It seems as though I too owe her a debt.
I'll keep tabs and try to help her, even though she didn't want help, to get out of the city. News is gonna get out now that she is Salubri, and those rumors die hard.
I'll help in any way that I can.
I know, darling. As he says that, there's another knock at your door, a soft one, and you see in the doorway Faraday.
Everything all right?
Mistress, the cards have finished drying. Should I distribute them tonight, or do you want me to hold on to them?
No, please go distribute them.
Who are you inviting to this thing, finally, Miss Fletcher?
The usual crowd. The hang-arounds. But I think Arkham and the father should be here. And the more I thought on it, the more I should probably invite the prince as well. She was, after all, involved in all of this. Whether she'll show up, I don't know. But it's best to extend the invite.
I wouldn't want to be in the room when Arkham finds out what happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he's going to take it. I can't tell if he truly loved her or not, or if it was just another cog in his art scheme.
Arkham's a Toreador. He loves very passionately, but for a very, very brief period of time. As soon as the new sheen off of whatever new aesthetic has caught his eye dulls, he moves on to the next thing. He would have moved on away from her. That's why I wasn't too worried. He would have moved away from Maria in weeks, months, maybe. So the father, well, just having him back here should be interesting enough. I'll make sure to make him very uncomfortable.
Oh, I do like this. She stands from her chair and moves to Fletcher.
He puts an arm around her.
No more secrets.
No more secrets. Fact.
I promise not to be cross anymore.
Not that I don't believe, but I liked seeing that side of you. I don't see it very often.
Oh, it takes a lot to draw it out.
Well, we'll do our best.
Seems
not
as
to
though
draw
you
it
have
out.
a secret talent for it.
I'm glad that I do manage to get different sides of you. Keeps things interesting.
Well, I do look forward to our party.
And speaking of that, the next night at your church, Father Dubois. You've been reaching out, trying to get information about what's going on up at the oratory. And squeezing people, making phone calls. And finally something came through. The sacristan, Mr. San Giacomo, the sacristan of the oratory, has indicated that he'll come by tonight and bring you some news, some information. And so, after your early evening sermon, after a visit with a few penitent from your flock, you sit in your office when the expected knock comes.
Enter and be received, my child.
The door opened, and instead of Mr. San Giacomo, you see Father Crispin McDougal.
Well, hello, Crispin. What brings you to my fun little parish here?
Alexander, may I come in?
Yes, you may.
I hope you don't mind. I came across the sacristan from the oratory, Mr. San Giacomo. He was on his way here to speak with you, I believe. I said I was on my way to do the same and that I could bring you his message if you wanted. He was very glad for the opportunity.
And what was his message exactly, Crispin?
May I sit?
Sure.
Thank you very much. He sits down. I don't suppose you have any wine?
As always, the hospitality will be extended. And he goes over and he pulls he grabs a bottle and then opens it up, sniffs it, knows that it's the good shit, looks over his shoulder, corks it, then grabs one of the last week's bottle of communion wine and just pops the cork on that and pours it just. Here you are.
Thank you. As he reaches for it, you realize that he's clutching in his hand a red Bible.
I never pegged you for a New Testament kind of man.
Well, one must adapt if one is to serve the faithful the way that they best need to be served.
Is that so? And how is it that you're serving the faithful now?
Well, I keep an eye out for the insidious things, the serpents that slither among us unseen, the evil that lurks, the sins, and the purveyors of such. Keep my eye on them.
Yeah?
Very vigilant eye.
Hard to keep your eyes so vigilant when you're up there on the little more well-to-do side of town.
Ah, well, I'm certain that a priest of your stature, Father Dubois, could get an assignment wherever he wants. I always assumed that you were here amongst the downtrodden because you felt it was your calling.
It is my calling. It was the calling of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and it shall be my calling as well.
People ask less questions also when someone disappears. Isn't that right, Father Dubois?
Are you trying to say people are disappearing? I haven't seen anything in the newspaper to say such a thing. I mean, outside of the normal, but, no one of note has gone missing. Why, is there somebody from my flock that you think is missing?
He sits back, sips the wine, makes a face, realizes what you did.
He just smiles.
He puts the glass down on your desk. So, Mr. San Giacomo, his message. I made sure to memorize it. I knew you would want to hear it verbatim. He was coming to tell you that, and I quote, "The Night Ones have left the oratory, perhaps in response to the new priests. These carry their leather-bound Bibles," and he taps his, "and inside them is a strange insignia, a cross with a sword. The Night Ones have relocated outside the immediate holdings of the church. They were, in total, 5.
Is that it?
No, there's more. He also wanted you to know that the incident of a few nights ago involved these priests and a few other Night Ones," he said. Whatever that means. He said that a bright flash of light was observed in their vehicle as they attempted to leave the premises.
Is there more?
No, only that Mr. San Giacomo may be absent for a while. It seems
Why?
these new priests in town have need of his services.
Very well. That is definitely good to know. And I thank you exceptionally for bringing me this information.
I hear you suffered a loss recently. I mean, we
Yes.
all did.
Yes, but she was a very important woman doing God's work for many, many years.
Many, many years. Much as yourself have.
Well, I mean, I'm seasoned. I wouldn't say that I've been doing it for many, many, many years, but I would say that I'm seasoned.
Alexander, I've no clue what you've done to me. You've jumbled my thoughts. You've done something to me that prevents me from putting the whole picture together, but I am still looking. And I am still observing. And now, he taps his red Bible again. I have friends, Alexander.
You have friends?
Yes.
We all have friends. We all have friends in each other and within the clergy. You and I are brothers of the cloth.
We are nothing alike. I don't know what you are, Alexander. I don't know what you are. But you and I are nothing alike. You are snake in the grass. And I will out you.
You see, I am not the snake in the grass that you seem to be convinced of. I assure you. And I think he leans in, locking eyes with him.
And as you do that, you see him look away and bring up his book.
If he brings up his book, he takes the book.
And as you go and grab the book out of his hands and you see him flinch, give me a willpower roll.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks, Rara, for those those gifted sub. Really appreciate you. Thanks for dropping in. We're visiting the church right now.
I got a success. 2 successes. Sorry, 2 successes.
As you grab the book, you feel this intense burning sensation. You drop it immediately. It was more like an electrical shock almost. And as the book falls to the ground and he flinches, certain that something's about to happen, and you feel your beast recoil and start to claw, you hear a knock at the door.
Hello?
Father Dubois, it's Arlo, and it's your sacristan of the church here. I've a message for you, a message which is delivered for you, Father.
From who?
From someone named Houseman Elise.
McDougal, you will leave now.
He bends down to pick up the book.
I step on his hand if he tries to reach for the book.
He pulls back. He's still not looking at you. I have friends now.
I'm sure that you do have friends, but here's the simple facts. My clergy's larger than yours, I'm far more notable than you, and most importantly, McDougal, envy is a sin.
So is being the god of the devil, Father.
No such thing. I am a God-fearing man.
He gets up and turns and opens the door, and you see your sacristan, Arlo, standing there. Everything all right, Father?
Yes. Remember, Christian, or Crispin, whatever the fuck your name is. We're all made in God's image, and according to the good word, we're all a part of the plan.
You hear his footsteps receding as your sacristan kind of feels the uncomfortable awkwardness in the room. Goes,
do me a favor, will you?
Yes, of course, Father.
Yes, do me a favor. Pick that book up.
Yes. He bends down, picks it up. Appears to be a New Testament Bible. He flips it open, and as he does, you see that the pages are all empty. Apparently not. Or it's some sort of edition I don't know about. Is there some sort of invisible ink edition?
Well, we do know that McDougal's blind, so maybe it's Braille. Who knows? I don't know.
This came for you. My condolences. And he hands you a little card. It's about yay big, drawn by hand. You see on it a daguerreotype within which is a handmade sketch of what you can clearly see is Maria's face. However, the sketch is a reproduction of the portrait of the nun in the Grey Nun's office. Underneath it is the name Maria de la Croix and an indication that she has passed away. There is an invitation below it to gather, to celebrate with friends and libations her works and life at Mortlock. Mortlock, you know, is the residence of Elise and Fletcher. Beneath it is a quote from The Old Astronomer to His Pupil by Sarah Williams. Though my soul may set in darkness, it will rise in perfect light. I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night.
She knows something. Well, thank you for the message.
Yes, my condolences, sir.
Yes. I think once the guy leaves, he just kind of goes...
He's like, do you want to keep this? And he shows you the red Bible.
Yes, please.
And puts it on your shelf.
What a waste. Wait a minute.
What do you do?
I think he folds up the invitation and he goes, well, tell me.
Yes,
you're a God-fearing man.
Well, I like to consider myself a God-loving man more than God-fearing.
Well, you can't be right all the time. Anyway, if you were to go and keep the company of, say, heathens, do you think that you would proudly sport yourself as a man of the cloth, or would you Perhaps go a little more incognito, a little more relaxed.
Well, I guess it would depend on what my intentions were and the porousness of my moral fiber.
Good point. And I think he pulls out his collar, he throws it on the desk there. But he grabs his rosary, oddly enough. And he's just like, well, looks in a mirror. We have a funeral to go to.
My condolences, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And as you make ready to go to the funeral, somewhere else in town, we meet someone that we have not seen for a while. Anaica Toussaint is the Primogen of the Toreador clan, one of the few remaining elders in the city, having not felt the beckoning to the Gehenna Wars, and having remained with her power and influence in the city. It's funny, Naika. So many years on this earth, so much power and influence accumulated, and still, the idea of freedom sits uneasily on you. Perhaps it is that you are forever prey to that damnable hunger. As this night settles on Montreal, where do we find you and what is happening with you?
Anaica is with music. Thumping music, anything that they could find that fills their heart up just with enough of a drum beat that almost feels like what used to be a heartbeat. They would be wearing what they have is like their finest, really good makeup on, just enjoying this night and trying to let that freedom, that word, soak in. It's a little uncomfortable, but it's new. And they're looking across the room to this beautiful person as he's dancing, and she smiles back, puts up her little hand, and waves.
He does that double take of,
Yes, you. It's really loud, so they're just sending back those little signals, like in the middle of this loud club. So she would just coyly, like, look down, back up, have a little smile again.
are you the kind to prefer to get the attention of someone who would be a little brash and bold about it, or are you someone who more likely to try to draw the attention of someone who would sort of be a little overwhelmed by it, maybe, and
Bold.
it doesn't take very long then for him to slowly but very methodically dance his way over. And as they do, you notice that with every rotation on the dance floor as they approach, there appears to be one less button that is buttoned up on their shirt. Soon enough, they reach out and extend a hand in an invitation to dance.
She returns it, but she She looks them up and down as if, let's see what you have first. But when they turn them once or twice and there is a lull in the music, they'll kind of bridge the gap between them to get really close. And it's a long night. They're meeting someone later. And they'll try to like trace the young man's throat to be like, I don't know. Would you want to? Just, they're all doing this with their facial expressions. Like, would you want to return back with me?
And he makes a show of contemplating this offer as if he had a few more to check in with before. He's walking that fine line between playing hard to get and hard to want. But then, as if magnanimously acquiescing,
they turn away from him, but hold out her hand and pretty much follow and start walking out.
And follow you he does. Where do you lead them?
If there is a place where Anaica could stay for a bit, maybe
is old and careful, and I'm certain does not like to take chances. And so there is a place nearby, well used, very safe.
They'll take them right there. They're comfortable in that space. They have lived for a long time. This is not something that they're going to do in an alley or anywhere and that's not their style. So they
has to be comfortable.
Comfortably start talking to them, and finally, like, we'll pull them close for a kiss or just harmless little giggle. Mon chéri, you're just beautiful.
And he has that thing that maybe is something you look out for, that you're after. He's got that, unbeknownst to him, that look of the doom. Someone so beautiful and so certain of themselves, and everything has always gone right for them. Everything has always been exactly the way they wanted. And of course, this incredible person singling them out at the bar for this kind of escapade is just part of the menu of their life. And you know that there's an inevitable, well, there's my French getting in the way of my English. Inevitable, that's it. For sure, it was always going to end this way. There was inevitable. There you go. It was inevitable. My French gets in the way sometimes. It was inevitable that he would end up here. And there's that doomed quality to it that some might see as tragedy, but you, perhaps, being a lover of fine art, your blood of the Toreador, after all, sees as the perfect period to put at the end of the sentence that was their life. You were preordained. What do you do?
When they're alone together, they first start dancing like they did at the club, bridge that gap again, enjoy their laugh. And when they're hungry, they just finally look up to this beautiful young man and stretch out their neck. But even at that moment, even at these couple of years, even though Anaica is elegant, refined, a little detached, they still want to ask, can I?
Bien sûr, cher. You can do anything you want.
And they will feed.
The question here is, how much do you feed? Do you feed enough to kill, or do you leave them simply drained and with wonderful memories? What kind of hunter are you?
Anaica is full of wonderful memories.
You find his car easily enough, and you take his keys and open it and sit him in the passenger seat and pat his face and wish him a good night as he slurs and has difficulty holding himself up, a little weakened. And then you find yourself driving towards a meeting you've been wanting to have for a while. Meeting with Arkham. There's a lot riding on this meeting, and you're empty that you're not going to it on an empty stomach. You're happy, rather. Speaking of Arkham. Arkham. You hold in your hand the same card Father Dubois received earlier. What's going through your mind?
Who brought me the card?
The card was delivered by Elise's ghoul, Faraday.
Can I catch Faraday before they leave?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. What is this? Is this like some weird theme party or some shit? What is this?
Exactly what it seems to be. It's an invitation. My mistress wanted you to have it, and so I brought it to you.
I understand that, Faraday. What is this for? A funeral? This,
I believe Mistress Elise considers it a celebration of life, but if you're asking whether or not Maria is dead, then she is.
She's dead. Like dead. Like gone. Dead.
Final death, I believe you and yours call it.
And when did this happen, Faraday?
A few nights ago.
And who was she around, Faraday?
I believe those are questions you should ask my mistress.
Faraday, was your mistress around when this happened?
I would really rather you ask her yourself.
Faraday, just answer my question, please. Was your mistress around when this happened?
I'm sorry, sir, but I have other deliveries to make, if you don't mind.
Faraday, if you want to leave here with your legs, just answer that one question. Was your mistress around when this happened? That's all I want to know.
If you taking my legs will satisfy you and I can go on with my business, let's be about it.
We've seen you again, Faraday. Fucker. And he slams the door.
hold that card, look at her picture, read the words. What's going through your mind?
I think what's going through his mind is he's reading the words on them over again, the time, the service, and he finds himself standing in front of the room that she would paint in.
You're also finding that you're seeing black spots, and it's like your vision is starting to crowd in a little bit, kind of like those pictures with the vignette around it. And then he comes back. Maybe he's changed his mind. But Faraday's back at the door, knocking again.
Decided to fucking play ball.
Standing there is not Faraday, but rather Anaica.
Excuse me a second. Okay. He like takes the invitation and puts it in his back pocket. He said, "Sorry, what's Evening."
Are you sure you don't need another second? This doesn't look much better.
Yeah, you're right. Come in, please. Sorry.
Well.
Yeah, take a seat. Are you, would you like something to drink or anything?
No, I've eaten.
Okay. Okay. And he goes over and he puts on a record and he lights an incense. He's like, "Oh, sorry,
Which one are you putting on?"
It's an old Prince record. It kind of...
I know, which one?
1999. It's the first one I grabbed.
All right. That will do for now. But afterwards, diamonds and pearls.
B-side. It's a classic print. I can flip it over right now.
Afterwards, I can enjoy this now.
Sorry, you didn't catch me at a bad time. You just catch me in an inopportune moment. Just got some information, but I'm very happy you're here. Wanted to speak.
All right. I do want to speak. I do want to speak about a couple of things, but what was it that you were... What was your little inopportune moment?
I got some unfortunate news about a friend.
Maria.
I'm not surprised that you know. Seems like I'm always the last person to know things.
That's not... Were you not in... I'm sorry, but... Were you not responsible for her?
I was, but...
But?
She wasn't a prisoner. She didn't have a chain connected to her leg and she had to stay here. I mean, we are still what we are, and she deserved that much. It wasn't me. It's fucking Elise. She probably looked at her some type of way and influenced her to, I don't know, do something like, but final death. I didn't expect that much from Elise to do something like this. It's probably one of her fucking rituals. Some shit.
At the moment, before we bring Elise to this, and yes, no chains were involved. They have free choice and everything. You are still meant to be held accountable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's coming down the line too, because I don't think, and he pulls the thing out of his pocket, I don't think this is just going to a choice group of people.
Mm.
Yeah. Pretty fucked. I guess, shit. Yeah, I'm pretty fucked. Had a simple job, right? Babysit the fucking kid. She wasn't a kid. She was very talented. Oh well. Suppose I'll be meeting her sooner than rather, or whatever. God, I'm so Joe. I'm gonna flip that record. Please, what were you saying?
No, I'm just waiting you to talk it out because it seems like you have all the thoughts you need to say out loud. So, here. Or Maria, some flowers, mon ami, they sometimes don't survive the dark. So, fine. But you seem to be on a path that I don't understand.
Get in line, right? Take a number. It's not a lot.
I don't think I will have enough time to get the answers before that reckoning shows up.
Yeah, so ask the questions. What is it that you'd like to know?
What is it that you'd like to tell me then? I would like to know. I would like to hear it from your lips.
I don't know. What is this where I go like, oh, I was in love with her, the creepy artist who lived in my back room and made blood paintings? Like, that's not the move. I don't know which direction we're going.
That's not it. I believe I want to know more about these moments you disappear into something else.
Oh, you know what? I don't know why I'm surprised. Like, how do you know that? Fucking privilege.
Good. They step closer to you even more, and now they're just like in a fun way, just kind of trailing their hand onto your arm. Yeah, so I know. I just want to hear it from you and understand it from you.
I go into fits. I black out and I gorge myself on blood of those who are surrounding me. But I will say this. I am cognizant enough in those moments to not hurt some people. Well, one person, my assistant, Constance. But everyone else is fucked. I don't remember anything. I wake up full and sick and with what I can only imagine is a headache, but it's like blurred visions when you look at an old TV and everything gets scrambled when you change it to a channel, right? And I can almost feel them coming on. But then by the time I realize what it is, I wake up and I'm always naked for some reason and covered in blood.
You see, I don't think there's shame in the beast, Arkham. I just want to understand why he's driving.
I want to understand why I'm fucking naked every single time when I wake up.
That's not too bad. You're a little free. But I don't get this. It's feels like you're slipping a little too far for me.
I don't know what to tell you. And I don't, right? I wish I knew. If I knew, then this conversation would be differently. But this is what I know. Blackout. Yeah. Wake up. Naked. And sick. And everyone around me is dead.
Said that multiple times.
Because it's a problem. Like, I pay a lot for my clothes just to wake up fucking naked. All right? Like, it's annoying.
Great. So I should be looking around the city for well-dressed people just walking around in your clothes.
Yeah, I'm single-handedly clothing the homeless in Versace in all of Montreal.
And you were in love with Maria. All right, B-side now. That's enough.
Yeah. He goes and he flips the record. I think he sits down next to his record player and he's like, listen, I appreciate you reaching out. I spoke to Alexander Dubois, the father over there at that weird church, and he mentioned something, and I don't really know what that's going to be, but I know you need something, or you need me to tell you something, or whatever. Primogen doesn't stop by.
No, even though you do have good taste. I do.
Yeah.
I do need something, and there's very few things that I ask of. But I think you need as much from me. This little road you're walking on, I don't know what it is. It feels like you're just, mind my language, but a little puppy dog, and sometimes I just want to wonder. I wonder if you're walking carefully down this path. Or should I yell? Should I be like, should I warn you? Should I get a little bag and carry you around? I don't know. But like, I don't know. But I want to help. I want to give a steady hand. And they'll put out their hand to them as if like a handshake.
Okay. Takes your hand.
I want you to understand that as I you need someone on your side. You need someone to help. I can do that for you. I can be there for you. Especially when it comes to your responsibility with Maria. But I need something while I'm free, while I'm away. And they're gonna lean up to Arkham, hold their face so that they can tilt their chin down to look straight at Anaica, like right at them. I need you to be my eyes.
Like he slowly leans his head back and he's like, your eyes. And
Yes.
what am I looking for?
Oh.
No. 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 No.
What?
No.
What?
No. No, this was lovely. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I think I have a funeral to get ready for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No? No. You see, I don't usually enjoy hearing that word. Look, I can leave cleanly and happily and enjoy a good freedom, but there's a little bit of a mess. I need you to keep me informed.
See, I'm not.
Not what?
I'm not too sure that's all you want. I mean, information for you is easy. What else is it? See, I think this is something else that you want to do with your newfound freedom. You just want eyes. But yet you sit here and you suggest, in order to do that, I have to give you a large part of myself. And that's going to help me.
Yes. And they... They push like a shoulder of their dress down further. Called my bluff, yes, I see that, but still. Information I can get, yes, you're right. But I need someone who is not just looking out for information, but looking out for me. I need someone tied to me. Protective of me. Part of me.
You can definitely see in Arkham's eyes that he is struggling with this. And speak clearly when you answer this for me. Primogen, what's the benefit for me?
And as you're contemplating the benefits of selling your soul to a Toreador elder, Father Dubois, how are you making your way to the party?
Via the safest method of transportation in all of Montreal, the public bus system, of course.
You, at some point, think you see the neon start to flicker, and for a moment you fear that you're about to have another one of those little fugues that you had before, but the only thing that happens is that at the next stop, the door opens and he walks in. And he walks up to you and he stands next to this pregnant woman who's sitting in the one bench next to you. And he stares at her and he stares at her, and you can see her starting to get a little uncomfortable. And eventually she reaches up and pulls the cord to make the bus stop, and she gets up and hurriedly leaves, and he sits down. At least people are fucking polite in this place.
There was a pregnant woman. Why would you do that?
I needed to sit.
You could have sat here, or there, or there.
I want to sit here. She can sit there. Not my fault she getting off. She was getting off. You saw her.
She was getting off because you were staring at her and making her uncomfortable. That's why.
Well, she shouldn't have been sitting in my seat, Padre.
Your name's not on it.
He reaches into his pocket, pulls out a flick knife, opens it, and starts carving in the back of the seat.
You know, you're going to cause the reputation of the bus system to go down if you do that.
Doesn't need my help. Man, they can't even fucking keep the budget straight. This thing's going downhill. They got fucking everything now. They got fucking rent-a-bikes and rent-a-cars and fucking buses and trains and planes and automobiles, and can't get anywhere on time in the city.
Anyway, we're going to a party. Behave yourself.
I always behave. Oh, what kind of party? Is it a sexy party?
Well, maybe.
Where is it?
We're gonna go to what I assume is Elise's hold.
That's definitely gonna be a sexy party.
It's a funeral.
It's definitely gonna be a sexy party.
Well, I mean,
she's a little weird. I mean, you know, I know I'm a figment of your imagination and all, but she's weird.
Yes, but she's weird in a good way.
Yeah, because she has sexy funeral parties. I like parties.
I'm aware of this. Speaking of, what did you get up to the other night?
Oh, this and that.
No, not this and that. I have a very specific question for you.
Okay.
Well,
you can see that he's carving Alexander, and he's starting to work on the D on the back of the chair. Yeah.
You weren't involved with the deaths of any kindred, were you?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, usually I have a pretty good memory when that happens. And I don't remember that.
So you weren't at the oratory the other night?
Hell
I
no.
was, but you weren't.
Yeah, no, I don't go there. Bad place.
Okay.
Bad place.
It's not a bad place. It's just a place you're not welcome.
It's a bad place. What kind of place would not have me, you know? I mean, they let you in there.
I have a conscience.
Yeah. That tells you a lot about you, don't it?
At least I have one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Who died?
Maria died.
Oh, fuck's Maria.
She was the one who made the pretty pictures out of blood and organs, out of the wolf's little plaything. Remember, we saw it in the bathroom, and it was all over the walls. And
oh, the nun who made drew penises and stuff.
Yeah. She put the baby makers on the walls. Yes.
Oh. Man, Elise must have loved her.
I have no doubt of that in more ways than one.
Yeah. She died? Oh, did you think I killed her? Because I didn't do that.
That's what I was trying to make sure of.
No, I didn't do that. Are you kidding me? Fuck around with the fucking Tremere's pet? I'm fucking nuts, but I'm not that nuts.
Well, technically, it would have been Arkham's pet in care of... Is that like dog sitting, do you think?
I just had the funniest fucking mental image of Elise with like one of those leashes around her waist that's attached to Maria, and it's just kind of like, whoa, stop. You know, Elise, her little voice like, stop running. And Maria just like fucking running around with this huge dildo in her mouth, like fucking trying to find a place to be. It's gonna be a great party.
Not if you keep this up. You will get no playtime if you don't act right.
You wouldn't do that to me, would you? He finishes writing Dubois. And then he starts working on an E.
Listen, if you're going to put my name on it, at least make the S, make it the cool S, you know? That's what the triangles and the lines. Yeah. There you go.
A couple of wings here, and then one beefy arm right here behind the back, and
I hate you sometimes. Anyway, yes, we're going to Elise's home. What's going to happen?
Are we going to make her into Lilith tonight? Is that what's happening? Is that the plan?
No.
Oh, God. When is that happening? I'm kind of fucking jonesing for that.
Well, the 13th moon, first of all.
When's that?
December, at the winter solstice.
Oh, fuck. We got to wait till December, Jesus.
Yes, we do. Time is irrelevant to us.
Now, to you, maybe.
Why? You got somewhere to be?
You know, I'm just like, it's been a while since we've done something really terrible and cool.
We're going to a funeral. Of course I'm going to do something really terrible and cool. Are you kidding me?
Are you going to do things to the corpse?
No.
Okay. Because that would have just been terrible and not cool at all.
No, that would have been a serious faux pas. You don't mess with the corpse, you know.
Is he going to be there? In the leash situation, the one who holds the leash that's tied to Elise's neck?
Oh, I imagine that he will be.
Yeah, he fucking gets my goat, man.
Well, he's kind of useless for the time being, but he somehow keeps her stable. But when the time comes, he'll be ended.
Yeah.
After all, I have a boon to collect on.
You know that he's not gonna let us turn her into Lilith, just fucking willy-nilly, right?
But I make a strong argument.
Well, yeah, I mean, to someone with good sense, but a Tremere?
Well, you see, one thing that I've learned is the farther they are away from... I don't know, the farther they are away from the Chantry, the more they are independent, and they don't have the allies to call upon any longer. I mean, what have they got? A whole house full of sex slaves? I mean, we've got that at St. James, and more of them.
And ours are pious.
This is true. And no offense, but our pimp hand is much stronger.
Yeah. He finishes writing Esquire at the end of your name. He pulls his knife.
Yes.
So, where do you want me at for this thing? Close to you? You want me scoping out something? Or what do you need from me?
Something interesting happened, though. The things that I've been able to piece together, you know what I know, so let's dispense with the pleasantries. I want to know anything relating to this light that was supposedly happening at the oratory.
Oh, in the car?
And what do you mean in the car? Go on.
Well, isn't that what the guy told you? That there was light in the car and the vehicle that they were trying to escape in?
Yeah.
Fucking weren't you listening? You were in the room.
Yes, I was listening, but I want to know more about it. What is the light? They turned on a fucking mag light? It's a 4-cell. Look out. I mean, what do you want?
I wasn't there. I'll look into it.
Thank you.
I mean, if anyone fucking shed some light in there, it certainly is. Fuck wasn't Elise. That bitch dark.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're almost there.
How do I look?
Fuck, you forgot your collar. Wait, I think I have a spare one.
No, we're going incognito.
Who's Cognito?
I really hate you sometimes. But anyway, we're not going in the full vestments. This is a heathen ceremony. We're not going to soil our pure selves with heathen rituals, so we must go as heathens. We must walk as Romans do.
Remember the good old days when you could just kill heathens?
No, because that's why there's no more Ethans. People stop naming their children Ethan.
God, sometimes you make no sense to me at all. And he reaches up and he pulls the bell to stop the bus.
Uphill both ways. Amazing. It's amazing how this shit works.
Meanwhile, back at the chantry. Not the chantry, sorry, but the residence of Elise and Fletcher. As you're getting ready, you can hear some of the guests have arrived, Elise, and you can hear already music and people talking, and the libations have been flowing downstairs, and you're getting yourself ready. There's that soft knock of Faraday's at the door.
She turns, looks to the door.
Mistress, I delivered your messages to Arkham and the father. Arkham was very insistent about knowing who was present with Maria when she died. I declined to answer, but he seemed rather upset, and he wanted to know very specifically if you had been involved. I just thought you should know that if he comes, he may be on a bit of a tear, I guess.
Did he seem as though he'd come?
Hard to tell. As I was leaving, I saw the Primogen, the Toreador, the really beautiful woman, Anaica, arriving at his place. So I don't know what that's about. He may be occupied.
You do have such a talent for faces and names, Faraday. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Well, it's just a little bit of practice and paying attention.
How is everything going downstairs?
Oh. Quite good, I imagine. I just got back myself, but there's about 20 or so of the usuals down there. They're loving the art. They're probably gonna drink us dry. But I've talked to their sire, and he says that that's not a problem. I also wanted to know if you decided where you wanted Maria to go at the end of the night. Is there a particular spot that you would like?
Yes. Under the old oak. Out in the garden should be nice.
All right, perfect. I'll get to work on that right away then. Are you okay? Are you alright? I know that Maria meant a lot to you.
Of course I'm sad. And I think I'll be sad for some time, but tonight is a night of celebration. Of who she was and what a wonderful light she brought to us. She reaches a hand out and places it over Faraday's hand. Why don't you ask some of the other ghouls to go digging this evening? Put on your formal blacks and come join us.
That's what you wish.
I do.
Very well. Do let me know if you need anything.
She leans forward and places a kiss on his cheek.
He blushes.
All right, well.
Yes, I'll go.
Just get her along.
Give orders. He turns and disappears. Is there anything that Elise wants to do before things kick off, or?
I think she's dressed at this point. She's wearing her blacks. This very beautiful, intricate gown, and where she would usually, in the custom of the period which she comes from, which is the Victorian era, she would wear a veil, and things would be a lot more dramatic and sorrowful. She has decided to go without this evening. She truly wants this to be a celebration of life and she's sat back down at her small vanity. And I think she takes a moment to practice a smile in the mirror, because even though she doesn't quite feel it right now, at least maybe she can wear the mask for a little bit until she can feel it.
Back at Arkham's place.
Okay. So control. Whatever's going on with me, I be your eyes and your security and whatever it is that this will entail. I'll be able to control and find out what's happening with me.
Yes. And, well, you get me. And everything I could teach you.
Okay. Like that resonates with Arkham. It's not going to be like some weird Elise Morticia Adams shit. Like, I'm not going to be puppy dogged around you, am I?
You might be still puppy dogged, but not Morticia. They laugh, and if at this point you have offered Anaica a drink, they're just sipping at it.
That's...
No.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I what else do I have? Right?
You have a lot, Arkham. I wouldn't be wasting my time. I just want to make sure that the fire doesn't... Sure?
I'm sorry. If I do this, I feel like this will probably be the last time I'm going to be able to see it with these eyes, and I need someone else to be there, please. And he takes your head and he brings you back to the room where Maria was doing her paintings, and I think for the first time in a while, he turns on the light and you just see it. It's etchings and clawings of a mad person, but they all make sense. It all flows. She told me that at some point I would be able to see and understand. And I don't understand it, but I see it. Right? And now she's not here to explain it. But it's right here, right? Anytime that I get close to it, my senses and my eyes, they start to do this buggy thing, and it's like, ugh, and all of a sudden I can't find myself to come near this room. But for some reason today, I'm fine. It's the first time I've stepped in here since she's been around. I'm happy to do what you need. I'm perfectly fine with that.
As he says this, and you look around the room, Anaica, you see Maria's work on every wall, on the floor, all of it done in blood, but with such a level of detail and artistry that it's enrapturing. Your arrangement as a Toreador is that you become very easily entranced by aesthetic beauty. And you feel that happening right now. So I'm going to ask you to make a willpower roll to begin with. So on Demiplane, to make a willpower roll, click on the dots for the number of willpowers that you have, and it should give you a roll. Once you click on that at the bottom left-hand corner, there's the little die there. If you click on that, it'll roll.
Awesome. That will be 2 successes.
So you don't lose yourself. You maintain a certain degree of control over yourself. You don't just phase out and stare at this mouth open for hours on end. What you see as you begin to investigate it, you see that what she was working on is basically a Stations of the Cross. I don't know to what degree people are familiar with that, but in Catholic churches, there are a number of portraits that are called the Stations of the Cross, and they show the various moments and the various steps leading up to Jesus Christ's crucifixion. When he fell, the 3 times he fell, and the various mainstays of that story. What you see is that Maria was working on a Stations of the Cross. In every image, it's very clear this is in Montreal. The images are striking. The backgrounds are clearly Montreal. Golgotha is clearly Mount Royal, and you can clearly see the cross of Mount Royal in those images. In these Stations of the Cross, you realize that she painted herself as Jesus. You eventually see Mary Magdalene, and you realize Mary Magdalene as Elise's face. There are 3 crosses on the mountain with 3 figures already on them. Maria/Jesus is depicted carrying a lit cross on her back, much like the one on the mountain. The Roman soldiers look like Christian monks instead of Roman soldiers. Each one of them is bearing a sword that shines with light, and then has the outline of a cross. In one of them you see Pontius Pilate, the Roman ruler who sentenced Christ to die on the cross. He's depicting here sitting on the throne. At his feet are bones and corpses. And the face of Pontius Pilate is that of Father Dubois. The soldier with the spear who eventually pierces Maria's side has Arkham's face.
What talent. What talent. They take Arkham's hand, like the one that held them like to the room, puts it up to their face and gives them a kiss. This is... You know this one? And pointing to the figure of Pontius Pilate to the soldier.
Look, that's the one that looks like me.
Mm-hmm. The one sitting on a pile of bones, pointing at the one looking at you.
Oh, yeah, that is, that's Father Dubois. Yeah. Preacher of a weird culty church, likes to take the bus, split personality. He's funny dude.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So, whatever it is you need, if it is going to help, like you say. I only have one additional thing to ask. Would you mind going with me to this party.
They go back to the painting and look to what seems to be this like massive intertwined yarn that they have to like, they're just scanning from image to image. I really don't want to get in the middle of this, but I feel like this would...
It's fine.
Fine.
Honestly, it's
fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. What haunted you and what you... They're looking at the paintings again, just scanning through this artist. I would like to learn more. So.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Let me put something on. Do you need to change?
They look up and down, like they've come in pretty nice clothes, so there's like, what?
It's just, no, it's not saying, I'm not saying what you're wearing is bad. It's just, do you want to change? I have things here.
What things do you have?
That's probably telling more about me than I probably, I'm going to change.
Okay.
I will be back, and then I will take us to Elise.
As Arkham is changing, is there anything you want to do, Anaica, or will you just be waiting for him?
Understanding the painting, understanding, like, it seems like as Elise is Mary Magdalene, that symbolism between that relationship and looking at Dubois at the, like, they're just understanding this and writing this down in their brain of what they're stepping into. Freedom is like right outside, and
I was just going to say that. You get this sudden kind of chill along your spine of, it's like the sound of a door slowly closing. Yet there's something extremely tantalizing about the whole thing. There's something that goes beyond the artistic value of what you're watching. There is a tale here. There's something, and you've been in Montreal long enough that you know the complex history and the interwoven elements that make the city sort of what it is. And as someone who is interested in art and so interested in narratives and interested in meaning in things, you are certain, or the feeling that you're getting right now is one that is almost palpable. It's so clear. You can either leave now, or you can take a chance and go and see if you can find meaning in all these little pieces that you're seeing floating around. But it's not clear that you're going to be able to do both.
They'll wait till Arkham's finished changing, but they will wait for them to walk out, and Yeah, when they walk out, they're just going to look at them and say, before we go.
Yeah.
There's one last thing.
What the?
I think I wasn't clear before, so let me be frank now. I would like you to be bonded to me.
I thought that's what you meant the whole time.
Oh, good. So I didn't need to repeat myself.
I honestly expected you to kind of like tackle me as soon as I walked out of the room, and not in the fun way. It was a little on edge.
I was honestly going to do that if you were, well, you were accepting. So
you have something I need. And
yes.
if that's what's going to get me there, then that's fine. I don't like it, but I do need it.
Good.
Just know I please, no fucking dog on a leash, puppy dog eyes. Is I don't want none of that. Just ask. That's all you gotta do is just ask.
You still have puppy dog eyes, but no, come here.
All right.
They're just laughing for a second before it's very serious. They, especially the note to Elise, or I don't know how familiar they are to Elise, but they just allow Arkham to get close. And this event, do I really need to attend it?
No, I'm just nervous for myself.
If this will help the trust between us,
I can do it by
to sate that little bit of nervousness that you have. You can do it by yourself, but
yeah,
to show that I'm actually here to mentor you, I will attend with you.
Okay.
Okay.
What car do you take?
Yeah. It's a funeral, so
The
it
hearse?
is. I mean, it's
Pretty
called the
car.
hearse, but it's not. It's in all blacked out, tinted windows, rims. It's matte, just beautiful gloss Lexus.
Ford Flex? Oh, okay.
Hey, here we go. It's a beautiful Lexus, and he's like, sorry, the Testarossa is too flashy, and I have not seen my Audi in a week. So this is what I have. Did you want to do this now? Or...
So just to clarify, you know that you have to do it 3 times over 3 separate nights. So
Yeah, I didn't know if we wanted to get the ball rolling now. Or
Yeah,
please-
they before they like leave, especially when you talk about the car, they're like, yeah, I don't want to mess you up, that pretty little thing. So
Cool. Takes the jacket off. All right. It's weird.
Why? Don't be.
Okay.
How do you do this?
We don't know.
Do you cut yourself first? Does he bite you? What's the deal?
Yeah, they will just offer them like a shoulder and look at Arkham after you.
Okay. Fine. And he like really leans over and fangs his head and he takes a bite and he's looking dead in your eyes while he does this.
And you're gonna give me a Rouse check first?
Absolutely. Succeeded the rouse. I'm good.
Okay, and as you bite into Anaica's shoulder, as your fangs pierce her flesh, and her extremely potent vitae starts to slowly fill your mouth, give me a willpower roll.
One success.
This is very potent vitae. You have seldom tasted anything like it before. The age, the strength in it, the power in it, and it's a little surprising to you. Like, you knew that, of course, as the Primogen and as an elder, she was someone of some power, but it's still very potent, and there's something more in it. There's something more that is difficult to really put your finger on. You get the feeling that there is something in her blood that, how should I say this? There's something else in there. And I'll leave it at that for now. But as you're drinking of it, you feel your beast rise. You feel your beast sort of wake up, and all of a sudden your beast is like, oh, this is good. This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff. I want more. But you press down on it. You press down on it. You exert your will. You shut it down. And that's when you start seeing the black spots. And that's when the room around you starts to darken. And you can literally sense something inside of you pushing down on your beast to step over it and come to the fore. Anaica, you see him kind of try to be a little flirty, a little seductive as he bites you and kind of looks up at you, and you know, you're playing the game, both of you, right? But in a moment, you see something completely change in him. You see his eyes go completely black. And he bites down hard, and you feel your collarbone crack. And you can tell something is really fucking wrong. What would you like to do?
Like, clutch at his face, look at him straight in the eye. Enough.
Do you just trust on your powers of persuasion, or are you using a discipline?
They're going to use Melpomene.
Let's see if I can help you here. Melpomene. What does that do exactly? I'm getting.
Their voice
to entrance or
becomes.
terrify. Yeah, okay. I like it. So what Melpomene does is it allows you to use the other powers through your voice alone. So using Melpomene is free. But you would be using either Awe, Dawn, Dreadgaze, Entrancement, or Majesty. And I'm thinking of probably Entrancement, as you would want to kind of mesmerize him and stop him from doing what he's doing. Melpomene means that you could do it even if he wasn't seeing you.
Gotcha.
So to use Entrancement, you have to begin by giving me a Rouse check. So the way you do a Rouse check is at the top of your character sheet, you'll see a little kind of blood dot on the right-hand side. And it will say Rouse check. Just click on that.
1 success.
Okay, and you're in fact going to give me 2 because we should have done 1 at the beginning of the night. So you're going to give me another one now for the power.
Another success.
Excellent. You will now give me a Charisma plus Presence, and Ian, you're going to give me a Composure plus Wits. So if you need a refresher, you click on, for example, for you, Megan, you are doing Charisma plus Presence, so you're going to click on the dots next to Charisma, then on the dot next to Presence, and you're going to then click on the die at the bottom to roll.
Oh, okay.
That work?
They're rolling separately, so I'm trying to figure out.
I got
There we go.
2 successes, by the way.
How much did you get, Ian?
2.
What about you, Mozz?
Give me 1 second.
You can always just redo it.
6 successes.
Okay, now among those 6 successes, look at the red dice. Are any of them an Ankh with 2 little pips on either side, or a little skull? Well, the little skull is not going to matter because you get 6 successes. No?
Mm-mm.
Okay, hey, Wander's Haven, thanks for the raid. Appreciate you coming in. Ian, you immediately feel like you would do anything to please her. You would do just about anything short of harming yourself to please her, as you feel her presence, that in just that one word that she spoke sort of waft over you, and it cuts through everything, and it cuts through this strange thing that's inside of you. Is kind of like a dog that has certainly heard the voice of its master and kind of regresses and recedes back down.
Sorry. We might actually take the Testarossa.
No, I like the Lexus better.
Sure, Lexus is fine. That's fine.
Okay. That was more than enough.
Yeah, sorry. Shall we? We should probably. Yeah, we should go.
Okay.
And one step closer to Bloodbond, to Anaica, you head out to the car and make your way to the address that the invitation specified, which, whilst we are there, Father Dubois, the door opens and you see Fletcher standing in front of you. And he's like, Father Dubois, so glad you could come.
Hello. I wasn't expecting you to answer the door, but that's okay.
Well, all the servants are quite busy serving libations and making sure no one breaks anything.
Is there a lot of breakable things here?
There are a lot of breakable things, and the problem with many of these breakable things, Father, is that breaking them would be a very, very bad idea. A lot of these things have strange ancient things attached to them that would not take very kindly to their homes being suddenly reduced to rubble, so best be careful.
And where is our hostess of the evening?
Ah, please, follow me. I'll take you to Elise. She's holding court, as she is wont to do, of course. You know just what a teen queen my Elise can be.
I'm glad that you said it. And he does. He follows them in. And I think, like, if he is behind him as he's walking, I very much think that he just out of nowhere just kind of goes and keeps walking.
Where do we find Elise? What is Elise up to? And if you would, please, darling, tell us what the room looks like where this soiree is being held, this celebration of life.
Elise is in the parlor where they hold their parties and art gatherings within the house. She currently stands amid a group of humans, and she has a goblet in her hand, and she's talking very cheerfully to them. The room itself is, in some ways, how it always is. There's a large round table at the center of the room. There's a selection of canapes laid out upon it. There's decanters of rich wines. But all the heavy velvet curtains are drawn shut. Black crepe fabric covers the mirrors in the room. The grandfather clock within the room, his hands are stopped on a time early in the morning, just before dawn. At the back of the room, there is a beautiful casket. It's ornate in design. The door to it is open, and inside of it lies Maria. She's dressed in her habit, and she lays on silk, and so many lilies are crowded around her. Above her head is a painting, an oil painting that those who received the formal handwritten, hand-drawn invitation from Elise would recognize as the sketch, but now it is glorious, and it is an oil painting of Maria in her habit. Around it are lilies, and if you were to go closer, if you were to inspect it closer, you would see that there's fine strands of brown hair braided in a beautiful circlet around the painting.
Ah, we find her in her element. Darling, one of your guests has arrived. The inimitable Father Dubois.
Elise very gracefully bows her head to the guests that surround her. Excuse me a minute.
Yes.
And bare feet pad over to the father. I'm so glad you could come, Father. It's good to see you here in my home. invited.
I wouldn't have it any other way. Ruth, Boaz, you have quite the interesting home, I should say. Very interesting little court you're holding here, dear.
It's a celebration.
Indeed, it is a celebration. A celebration of what? I'm not exactly sure, but I'm here for it nonetheless.
I see my invitation found you well.
It did, yes.
How long's it been since we've seen each other last, Father?
A moon or two.
I hope you've been doing well. How's the church?
It progresses accordingly, though some things have been brought to my attention that are, well, a little peculiar.
Peculiar.
Odd things happening at the oratory, and somehow it's large enough to find its way down to me.
I see. What
Yes.
sort of things have you heard?
Things of us, things of light. And I think that he looks directly in Elise's eye. And there are now 5 knights on the chessboard.
Did you come in here to talk to me in riddles?
No, not at all.
Are you feeling alright today, Father? I see you're not in your usual garb.
Well, I figured it would be best not to step foot on... Well, holy is reserved for Christianity, so I don't know if you would sanctified ground of the heathens, and so I did not wish to bring unnecessariness to your coven.
Afraid you burst into flames?
No, that's actually the other way around, but not in this particular case.
I see. Well, nevertheless, it's good to have you. Perhaps we could talk more on your strange findings at the oratory.
And it is always an absolute delight to be in your presence.
Why don't you help yourself to some of the libations? And I was talking about the ones walking around on 2 feet. We will behave ourselves inside our house, won't we, Father?
You see this confused look on his face of like, so what are the libations?
Glass of wine. The body of Christ, I believe what you call it, right? I'm afraid it hasn't been blessed in this house, but it drinks all the same. Perhaps something quite nice compared to what swill you're probably serving at your church.
I'll have you know that St. James has quite a stockpile of wines within the catacombs, going back as far as 1802. Thank you.
Well, I'd say I'd love to come and try them, but that'd be a lie now, wouldn't it?
You don't want to try my wines?
Correct.
He gasped. And he turns and he walks towards one of the towards one of the flutes of drink, and he just goes, I bet your name was Jim. And he keeps walking.
I would like to add something I forgot
Yeah,
in the beginning, that the room is playing host to the artwork that Maria had created while she was staying with Elise, and it's displayed quite proudly around the room.
Whilst this is going on, Fletcher is called away to answer the door once more as Arkham and Anaica have arrived. You pull up at the manor, really. Fletcher and Elise live in this beautiful Victorian home in the hills above Montreal. There's the wrought iron gate fence, as you would expect, and there are guards at the door, and they slide open the gate for you as you pull up. You might expect to see a row of cars as expensive and as fine as Arkham's, but there are none. You see basically no other vehicles there. It's very clear there's a party going on. You can hear some... what kind of music would be playing, Elise?
Oh, I imagine some upbeat classical.
So a little quatrain or something is playing, and you can see through although the windows have like these dark curtains and stuff in them, you can clearly see that there are people inside and something's happening. But you would expecting, this is Wayne Manor. You would have expected like a bunch of big cars, but there's nothing. And as you walk up to the door, is there anything you want to do before you go in, or are you just going to knock? What's your situation?
I think Arkham grabs, gently of course, Anaica's arm, kind of cuffs it, and he goes, "This will be fun." Fun.
You knock on the door, and the regent, so Anaica, you're probably more familiar with the Primogen of the clan, who is different from the regent. The regent is the local leader of the clan, but the regent, Fletcher, who's a very kind of you've met him before, you know him. He just doesn't look like a regent. He looks like he just came home from the tattoo parlor or from like a punk club or something, and he opens the door and sees the two of you there, and he notices Arkham first, and then he notices you, and he goes, "Well, I wasn't expecting such august company tonight, my lady Toussaint. It's quite a pleasure to see you again. Delighted that you found your way here, and with Arkham, no less. Did you find him scurrying about your backyard, and you decided to pick him up and bring him with you? Is that what happened?"
I wanted to pay my respects, Fletcher. How are you?
Oh, well, we're mourning, of course, but okay. Would you like to come in?
Yes.
Bit of a word. This is a masked party, even though we're not wearing masks. There are very few of us here, and a lot of people who know nothing about us. But otherwise, please, follow me. Arkham, pleasure to see you again.
Fletcher.
He guides you in, and as you walk in, you get the description that Elise gave earlier of this very kind of strange... It's sort of this mix between a Victorian funeral and an art exhibit and a bit of a party. The guests who are here are very bohemian. They all appear to be they're all human for the most part. There are a few ghouls throughout, but most are human, and they all appear to be young artistic types, young bohemian types. They are very obviously not what you would have expected to be here. They seem very at home, very comfortable, walking around, everyone's behaving, and you see in her state, lying in state, you see the body of Maria there. What do you do, especially Arkham, I guess, in this particular instance, when you see this?
What, can you remind me the state of Maria's body?
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks a few days past, so a bit emaciated. Elise wouldn't have put any makeup on her, as we would traditionally do today. She wanted her to be natural. So yeah, she looks a bit sallow, and emaciated lying there, but she's in her habit. She's wearing her full nun's habit, and she's surrounded by all this beauty. She's on a bed of silk, and she's just totally surrounded by these beautiful white lilies.
Is she approachable? Or is it
Yeah, she's at the very back of the room, and she has that big painting above the casket. But yeah, anyone can go walk up to the casket. Very much so in the style of a wake.
Solid. I think he looks over at Anaica and he goes, could you just give me a second, please?
After Fletcher had turned, they have this face of distrust, but hearing Arkham, they nod to just let their arm out from their hold.
Thank you. He approaches the large display that Elise has done for Maria, and he kind of looks at Maria and he's like, this is so disrespectful. I think I saw it. I don't get it, but I think I saw it. Well, I don't know what she did to you, but I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna fucking find out.
Is Arkham speaking in his mind, or is he saying this aloud?
Aloud, but kind of in the same tone that I just did right now. It's just very, yeah. It's very direct, but
I think when Elise sees you come in, she quietly moves to you, but I would say she stays maybe a few feet behind you, standing there quietly with her head bowed, giving you the space and not trying to encroach. She's not trying to listen to you either. She's just kind of waiting patiently to greet you. It's the most timid. If you turn around and look at her, it's the most timid you've ever seen Elise.
And I think that's the 180 of the image. It's timid from Elise, and then when Arkham realizes you're behind there, it's definitely a quick turn, and the best way I can refer to it is Beast from Beauty and the Beast. He turns, he's like, Elise?
Hello, Arkham.
Evening.
I'm sorry.
For what, Elise?
I know this must hurt you. It seems as though the pair of you grew close in your time with her.
What happened, Elise?
Would you like to go somewhere a bit more private?
And she kind of looks around, her eyes falling on the humans in the room.
I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Yes, that would be nice.
Okay.
And she's going to lead you, I would say, out and down a corridor and to a private little sitting room. It looks like maybe it's been used as a library. There's a few leather chairs in there, some shelving with books, an old fireplace.
Audrey, we're leaving.
Oh, capital.
Do you do anything?
Actually, yeah. straight up, I'm gonna break the house rules already. I'm gonna use obfuscate, silence of death, and try and tail them.
Jeez Louise.
And Anaica, would you go ahead and, whilst all this is happening, would you go ahead and make me a intelligence and awareness roll? Do you need to make some rolls or some rouse checks, Padre?
No, I don't. It is a free action. And basically all that it does is it makes my footsteps, clothing, and any sort of minor collisions that I may have, like walking around or whatnot, make absolutely zero sound. None whatsoever.
And we're using obfuscate also, or just the...
Well, that's the power of obfuscate.
Okay, right, cool.
Is the masking on my sound.
Excellent.
I can still smell the stench of the church on you.
What'd you get, Megan?
And the bus.
Mostly bus.
3 successes, 1 hunger, I think.
Oh, you got a hunger. Nice. So you notice that they're leaving, Padre, and you start walking behind them, and you turn on your obfuscate and soundly move down the corridor. And Anaica, you had seen both Arkham and Elise step away, and you figured they needed to talk, and that was fine. You weren't gonna do anything about that. But then at the last moment, you also notice the other kindred in the room, the priest, Father Dubois, slip down. Now, he doesn't slip down behind them, but he disappears down kind of a side corridor. And you can tell that he's, looks a little suspicious, but whatever. He's ditching down that way. What would you like to do? If anything. You may not wish to do anything. It's up to you.
The priest being the king on top of bones and the paint. Yeah, they're a little curious. But they're not going to just follow them straight into a corridor. They're too old for this. So they're just... Anaica, this is going to... fine. And they just walk a little closer just to see them, observe them, hear them if they can.
Okay, so whilst we'll go back to the discussion here, do give me a dexterity and stealth roll. See how you do with that. Meanwhile, Elise and Arkham, you find yourselves in the little side room where you were headed. Please continue.
I hope you enjoyed the party. What I created for her.
This is all very nice. Yes.
We had spoke before she passed about having a party to showcase her art. She had wanted that greatly. I thought it would be a nice way to celebrate her, to remember her. Tell me, have you been hearing the odd rumors about the oratory? The things that have been happening there? The Weeping Madonna?
A little bit. I went to visit the father a couple of days ago and he mentioned it, but honestly, anything that he says is kind of left field. Why?
I had seen visions of her while I was gone. There, with a bright light. A terrifying bright light. Beautiful, but terrifying. And so I went to the oratory to see if I could find her, to visit her. I'd missed her. Perhaps you don't believe me, but I did love her dearly. And she was there. And we spoke, and it was beautiful. And it was like no time had passed. And it was getting late, so we decided to leave. And when we left, there was strange men, priests. They weren't priests. I don't know what they were. I saw an aura around them. Magic that I'm not familiar with. Things I don't understand. But while we were departing, when I was looking at them, focusing on them, trying to know who they were, and I must tell you, Arkham, they were coming for us. I saw a bright light, a flash. I think that I was on fire, but I don't know, not for sure. And the only reason I stand here before you today is because Maria saved my life. I don't understand it, but she did something. She traded her life for mine. And that's the truth. I'm so grateful to her.
What is wrong with the both of you? Why is everything so riddles and lights and creepy priests? And then Dubois is talking about two different things, and the beast and his fucking weird obsession about his church. What? She gave her life for you, for the weird magical priests. I apologize.
She protected me from them.
From wizards? That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a Harry Potter movie. So you mean to tell me that there were? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is that someone that I should know of?
No.
She looks around through her books.
This is all very lovely, Elise, what you did. I don't know. I don't have a reason not to believe you, but I'm having a hard time believing you. So you were chased by a group of priests.
They're humans. I can tell you.
Just then why didn't you why were they such a problem?
I don't know. Arkham, the city is sick. There's something wrong here.
No.
Perhaps you're a part of that sickness, Arkham.
Oh, no, I'm not. I feel like even with everything that's going on with me, I'm the only person who's not seeing double or seeing.
Is it because you see nothing at all? Is it because you leave yourself and when you wake up you don't know what's going on? I saw those people in the park that you murdered, that you ripped apart. I saw them when I touched your ring that day. I'm not the bad guy, Arkham. I'm just trying to help.
You're not a good one either, Elise. My friend's dead. Because of you.
I didn't want it to be like that. I didn't ask for what she did.
Do you ask Fletcher to do the things they do? Or Faraday? Or any other of these wide-eyed puppy dogs that run around this big fucking house of yours? No, you just look at them and you smile, and with your voice you say a thing, and all of a sudden they're dead. But this is nice, right? You showcased their art. You loved them.
I did. I loved her dearly.
Then why is she dead? Dead, Elise. And why are you giving me this story?
She sacrificed herself for me, Arkham. I did not ask.
What? For what?
I don't know.
Why are you so important? Why are you so important?
Why are you so cruel?
Because it keeps me alive, Elise.
Alive, but at what cost? You walk and you talk, but on the inside you're eaten. Rotting.
Yeah. But I'm not laying in some fucking flowers while everybody goes, woo, look at the pretty paintings. People need me, Elise, for what I don't know. How many people need you?
While you're pondering that, all right, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Father Dubois, you're listening to this interesting little conversation when you suddenly feel a presence further down the hall, but definitely get the sense that there's someone who is hovering nearby and perhaps within earshot of you or aware of you.
Come out, wherever you are.
You hear Anaica.
Do I know their name?
Yeah, it's Father Dubois.
They just come out. Forgive my intrusion. Curiosity. It's a habit I've yet to break.
And why are you following these two individuals?
These two?
Oh, don't play coy with me. I know why you're here.
Do tell.
And I think he starts to move closer. But as he's moving closer, you can feel the predatory sense kind of emanating off of him as he steps closer. Tell me, Queen of the Roses, what is your sin?
Oh, pretty smiles. Oh, good music? No. Dancing? No. I don't know. There's quite a few to choose from.
Lust. Your desire, your sin is lust. Lust for all the pretty things in the world. Speaking of pretty things, I couldn't help but notice you arrived with Arkham. Why?
Is he not a little pretty thing?
Yes, but until recently he's been beneath your notice, and I want to know why he is now within your notice.
They just reach over, tuck their hair back. I just noticed. They seem to catch my notice, I guess. I honestly was curious for a while, so I wanted to see.
You don't know what you toy with. And while I recognize that he is a part of your blood, he is also a part of your blood. So I would tread very carefully. That very beautiful young man has demons inside him. And if you're not too careful, those demons will eat you too.
Barry, don't we all have demons inside of us? A little few more won't hurt.
Remember you said that. And I think he turns. Mass is on Wednesday at midnight. I expect you there.
And just a few moments into this conversation, Elise, as you were about to continue talking to him, you would have heard voices in the hall. It's not clear who's saying what or whatnot, but you would clearly hear that there are people nearby.
I think her head snaps to the door, and she then looks back to Arkham.
I think it's time you left.
I agree. You have a good evening, Elise. Oh, tell Faraday if he comes around my house again, it will be his last.
Out.
Leaves.
You see Anaica and Dubois, I will assume you will have turned and left, and Anaica, you see Arkham come out of a room in a bit of a huff, I guess. Where do you go, Arkham? Do you head back towards the party, or are you leaving?
Approaches Anaica and goes, very poignantly, and even after what happened, we're leaving.
Oh. Did you say your goodbyes?
Did. Padre? Evening. Please.
They walk forward. They even do even if it's a little distasteful, but like their taste for religion is gone for a long time, but they still do a religious greeting and say goodbye to the Padre and walk out with Arkham.
I'm fine.
You don't look it.
I'm not fine. I don't understand it. Like, did you see how everybody was walking around in there?
Yes.
With this big, and she had the audacity to tell me to my face, she chose this. She chose this. She gave up herself for her. That was her decision for Elise. For what? I don't know. Some crazy story about humans and how they were different or magical. She doesn't know what Harry Potter is. She reads a lot. I'm sorry. Where is my car? Like, just very upset.
They will, while Arkham is going through this, and Anaica is just handling things like, where is the car? Where do they put this? Moving Arkham around to be like, here, walk here, while they talk about this. And they're not familiar a lot with what was happening. So they're just looking at Arkham like, okay, so what they did, their choice in this, their end in this is what?
I don't know.
You weren't.
You're just about as know me. But for whatever happened, Maria decided this to save Elise.
Trust.
Because they were being chased by humans who I guess were powerful. I don't. It's all about the oratory. Something about the oratory. And she saw this huge flash of light and she was on fire. I wish she was on fire. Then I wouldn't fucking be here.
Yeah, you would. Even if it is to say goodbye to Maria. But they put their hand onto Arkham's chest. Be still. Be still. It's fine. I am even more confused than I was before stepping into this building. But I bet there will be more uncovered, more and more. Yeah. Also, that father friend of yours? My goodness.
Did he do this? Ride the bus, come to church.
The second one. You know I don't ride the bus.
No, I don't either.
No.
And it's the dumbest thing that he does too. But yeah, no.
You see Anaica is like standing in front of the door and they have not opened it for themselves.
And he's like, oh, sorry.
No,
Sorry. It's been a rough night. I'm a little bit more put together than this.
We're at a funeral. What less? I don't really expect you to be put together, so.
No. I have to make No, I'm just going to text her. And I text Constance real quick before, I get in the car after I close the door for Anaica. I need information about the oratory.
They will do the same, but while they're inside the car.
Excellent. Meanwhile, back at the party, Father Dubois, you've returned to the main room. You see Elise in a bit of a state return also. What would the two of you like to do?
I think he would actively seek Elise out.
Elise did not leave the room.
Oh, sorry.
After Arkham, she sat down in one of those big high-backed leather chairs where they had just spoke, and she's been holding it in all night, smiling through the pain of seeing Maria there. The smile faded on her face, and the dam breaks, and she is sobbing into her hands, her elbows propped on her knees, quietly.
I think the father would just hold out a handkerchief that he just carries.
I think she takes it. And not only does she take it, but she is not expecting you and says, Faraday, you have the best timing. And she's wiping her eyes, and as she looks up, it's just, excuse me, Father.
I apologize. It is not. I am not Obed, dear Ruth. I am simply here to inquire. And I do admit that I was listening in.
Is it your voice in the hall?
Eventually. You had another snoop outside of myself. However, I swear my intentions were truly honorable and noble.
Oh, I'm sure they were.
For the most part. Listen, I was wrong, Elise. You are much more than you appear. But more importantly, it is not you who shall take our dear Longinus from us. It is the Queen of Roses, our very Jezebel herself, who grazed this particular party, who is stealing our warrior.
Could you just talk in plain English already?
You are of great interest to the Primogen of the Roses.
And why is that?
Curious myself.
And how do you know this?
Because she was stalking you and trying to find out what you were going and where you were talking about.
Are you sure it's not because I just didn't have a precious little Arkham?
I don't think so. Why was she being so quiet if she didn't care about being seen?
I don't know.
Regardless. He seemed a bit off this evening, did he not?
Yes.
You don't find that worrisome?
Isn't he always a bit off? A very angry man he is.
He shouldn't be.
Sick people often are angry.
I will confide in you this small breach. He has something lurking behind his eyes that is not of him or his darker half. I have attempted to quell such things. To no avail.
How do you know this, Father?
Because I can see into the soul of an individual.
And why are you so privy to share secrets with me all of a sudden?
Because, dear Lilith, there are much greater things in store for you. Keep the handkerchief.
Do you know who Harry Potter is?
Oh, yes. As a matter, he turns right back around. Yes, it's about some poor British boy whose parents are dead, and he's like a magical wizard of some kind.
Fiction.
You know, I thought it was fiction, but I've seen some people who have read those books, and I'm almost confident it's a cult.
Interesting.
I'm just saying. I'm confident in this, that it is a cult.
And as the evening will progress, you will find yourselves, eventually, those who still remain at the party or at the celebration of life, you will find yourselves eventually at in the garden, the massive garden in the back of the house. The grave has already been dug, and as you wind down the festivities and the casket is taken out by a number of ghouls to the backyard, and all of you follow, you see that the ravens have amassed on the crooked branches the majestic old oak in the garden behind the house. It sits near the gate that abuts the pathways that lead up to the cemetery, and the tree has the ashen color of the dead there. The night is dark and quiet, and those ravens appear to be waiting for Maria to be laid to rest, to carry her soul to Poe's Plutonian shores. They are respectful, though, and barely move and make no sound, as the body is interred among the roots of that tree. Elise, you take a measure of solace in knowing that she rests so close to you. And you already know this place will never lack for flowers, never want for your presence. And reflect on how sorrow is a strange mistress, to create such beauty and such tragedy. I would like to know what Father does to finish his evening, and then what Arkham does, and then we'll have one final little thing as we are nearing the end time. Father?
I think that he stays long enough. But he takes the opportunity to kind of mingle amongst the house servants, for lack of a better term, asking questions, nothing Nothing too probing, but just a like, what do you do here? Like, he understands the workings of a church and like what people do on a day to day, but he's viewing this like some sort of like heathen church. So he just like, what is it you do here exactly? Is there an organ player? Like, is there anything? Is there a choir? You know, type of questions. Just trying to understand more about what goes on here.
Very well. I'll fill you in on some details and stuff in between games. You'll get a sense of it, but you kind of get the sense that what you're seeing tonight, perhaps minus the corpse, is what goes on here. Like, people gather around and partake of libations and do art and talk about art and perform, and Elise is sort of a old-timey patron of the arts who surrounds herself with artists and people who create things, and is kind of like a strange little, I don't want to say mother, but definitely kind of a little guiding figure for them.
I was going to ask, do I see Faraday at all?
Yeah, he's always around. He's like fucking Lurch, man. He's always in the
I think I would seek out Faraday, because only Father Dubois would.
Can I help you, sir? Anything you need?
You're Elise's like right-hand man, right?
I have the pleasure of serving my mistress, yeah.
So you're privy to everywhere that she goes and all the things that she does, yes?
Yes, you could say so.
Are you the one responsible for her bodyguarding?
I think the jury's still out on whether or not I would be more capable in a fight than she would be. I think Elise's protection generally comes down to Fletcher more than anything. But I do accompany her, yes, if that's what you're asking.
Ah, okay. Right. I have only one final question. Do you fuck her? And I think that would be the cutout.
Classic Padre. Classic Padre. How does the evening end with Anaica and Arkham?
At least with Anaica, they will ask Arkham to drive outward, like on a road that leads out of the city but still winds back in. And even for a moment, after trusting, the bonding and everything, to give, I guess, a little bit of the wall she has up to come down, she'll put the put the window down and put her hands out to feel everything out there waiting for her. Everything that she had for years looking for, holding such a grip in her dreams. And how much the city has held her in. And even her face will shake for a second. And she'll let that wind dance over her fingertips. And as the car curves back inward to the city, she'll turn to Arkham. 2 more nights you have me. Then I will be free.
Okay. Do I need to put you up somewhere, or?
No. I'll be fine. I just want to make sure what I have here remains here. But I want to, and they're looking at the rear view, not the rear view mirror, the side mirror that they're on, and they just lean back into the seat. And whatever music or things he's playing, she just, no, I'll be fine. I just dreaming of greener pastures. And when they get to Arkham's place, they will find their own way home. But they will stay with him for a bit.
And what of Arkham?
I think after Anaica leaves, says goodnight to them, he goes back into the room, Maria's room, and he looks around again, and it does seem very different than before. And he's fine. Cool. Wipes his face. He turns the light off and closes the door. Takes another seemingly breath. Well, what can you do as a kitchen? He goes, Constance, can we get somebody to my apartment tomorrow to paint over everything that's in this fucking room?
Certain of that?
Very certain.
That'll be done.
Good night, Constance.
Good night, sir.
That's it.
Elise, is there anything that you would like to do after the party?
I think she goes to her room and kind of sequesters herself and returns to her mourning. She is tired and sad and not wanting to be around really anyone right now, aside from Fletcher, maybe.
Fletcher will give you some time to pause and think on things, and a little bit before dawn he will come and knock at your door. He's holding his little wooden box that has all his tattoo stuff in it and a goblet in one hand. Would you rather be alone?
You can come in.
I was thinking we might do one final thing to commemorate Maria.
What did you have in mind?
He sets down his box and he hands you the goblet. And you can smell that it's kindred blood. There's a bit of her blood left. I thought we could savor it, and perhaps I could do a little piece on you to commemorate her.
You always know exactly what to say, how to cheer me up. I think that's a lovely idea.
You choose. Where would you like it?
Place it by my heart, where she's always been.
You watch as he prepares his things. He melts the silver and then mixes some of Maria's blood from the cup with his special inks. He begins to work, as always intoning old rituals underneath his breath as he does. Images flash through your mind as you settle into the pain of the inking. You see Maria. You see condo, filled with blood, the night you found her. You watch her as she finds herself, discovers her new medium under your guidance, her new voice. You remember the moments of intense passion, your bodies entwined. The light, the cross burned in your flesh, her art. The simple, captivating beauty of her soul, her heart, her artwork. You look down and see that Fletcher has been drawing an eye. He's now inking the reflection in it. His deft, agile touch summons your face as a reflection in the eye, and beyond you the cross atop Mount Royal. As the beauty and perfection of his work enthralls you, you begin to see beyond again. Fletcher finishes the ink and reaches for the molten silver. You're so close, right on the edge. The fingertips of his left hand glide down along the skin of your stomach, down further between your thighs, and he touches you as he pours the molten silver in the wound of the tattoo, sealing it in. Behind him on the wall where Maria's picture hangs, you see a different face now, another young woman. A name slips between your lips. Cecilia. And you see shadows gathering about her. And another name. Margot. Pain flares on your chest. You look down and see Maria's cross symbol begins to morph, the one that was amongst the other symbols from Trois Echelles ritual. In a few moments, it has changed and transformed, and has become a black crown. As you come down, your senses returning to the here and now. Fletcher takes a long pull off the goblet filled with Maria's blood. He leans over you, opens his mouth. You open yours and drink her blood from his lips. And then he says, "Did Maria offer you guidance?"
A final gift.
Good. And he sinks to the floor, pulling you down on top of him. Later that night, Anaica, as you arrive home, the thoughts of freedom, those fleeting thoughts that you thought perhaps had been waylaid when you went to this funeral, are there again. The moon seems different as it's disappearing behind the edge of the city. 2 more nights. 2 more nights. And you'll be free, finally free. For the first time perhaps ever in your life, you'll be free. Then you hear the sounds of someone approaching. Footsteps in an alley. You turn and see 3 figures. 3 figures you know well. Kellen, Roz, Alexander. They step out of the shadows. Alexander gives you his patented apologetic smile, the smile that says he's not actually really sorry. And as he steps up,
"Hello, Neftali. I hate to drop in unannounced like this, but the pack and I have hit a bit of trouble, and things have not gone according to plan. Our cardinal, my sire, Annabelle, has betrayed the Sabbat. And the pack and I intend to mete out the only justice that exists for such a thing. So, we were hoping you would help. We were hoping that Sabbat blood still runs through those veins.
And as you feel those final little threads of freedom slip between your fingers, what's going through your mind?
There is this stillness. First, just shaking. And like a string pulled too tight, snapping in her chest, and she had felt it loosening. And then right then, that leash comes back, velvet wrapped, but strong like an iron, and pulls her straight back in, and she... Of course. And she'll return that smile back to Ross that doesn't seem to quite reach her eyes. In her mind, what a beautiful lie it all is.
And he winks at you, and he says, "To old friends." And on that note, my friend, we will end tonight's session of Black Pentecost and the series.